Hi, and welcome again to bodalgo. Today's video is all about bodalgoCall, our free remote directing and remote recording solution. Whether you want to follow a recording session with a voiceover talent online, produce a podcast with external participants, or conduct an interview, bodalgoCall has you covered with its insanely easy one-click solution. bodalgoCall has become even better. Now you can route the audio of each participant to its dedicated output. In other words, you are now able to record each participant in their own track in your favorite recording software. This makes editing your production incredibly easy. In this video, I will show you how to set up your Mac to unleash the power of bodalgoCall to its full potential. PC users will find a link in the description down there. All you need is a piece of software that will add virtual audio devices to your Mac. There are a few options out there, even free ones like Soundflower. But we are looking at loopback today, which works wonderfully even with the newest Mac OS. There is a free version available too. Again, you'll find all links in the description. Let's start setting up your Mac. It is a very simple procedure which only takes a couple of minutes. I will guide you through all the necessary steps. The first thing we need to do is create those virtual inputs and outputs with a tool called loopback. I have loopback already installed on my computer and it's very easy. You'll find the download link in the description below. So let's fire up loopback. And when it starts the first time, you see it already created your first virtual input-output loopback. And actually, we can use that one. We just give it a more meaningful name, like bodalgoCall 1. Well, let's create a few more of those virtual inputs by clicking the plus sign. And we rename them to bodalgoCall 2, bodalgoCall 3, and bodalgoCall 4. Once we have done that, we are already done in loopback and can close the application. Although the application is closed now, it will still provide you with the virtual inputs and outputs we have just created. The next thing we need to do is open the application Audio MIDI Setup, which can be found very easily by pressing and holding the command button and the spacebar. And then we type in Audio MIDI Setup. It already has completed the name for us. And there you see all the virtual inputs that we just have created. And what we want to do now is create a new aggregate device. And we do so by pressing the plus sign, click on Create Aggregate Device. And now we add all the virtual inputs and outputs we just have created. And we also include our microphone. I don't have an audio interface on that computer, so I'm just using the built-in microphone. If you have an audio interface connected to your computer, you could choose your microphone that's listed there. Let's give the new device a new meaningful name. Again, we just call it bodalgoCall. And that's the setup. There's nothing else to do. But what did we actually achieve with building this aggregate device made of our virtual inputs and outputs? Well, we have to look at the recording software to see what happened there. Let's set up a recording in your favorite recording software. Mine is Logic Pro X, but it pretty much works the same in any other software I know. The first thing that we do is we create a new project and we make sure that the input device is our newly created aggregate device, bodalgoCall. You also see the other virtual inputs, but we want our aggregate device that combines all those inputs. I want to create 4 tracks because let's say I produce a podcast with 4 participants and want to record all of them in their each individual track. The only thing left to do now is to map those tracks, audio 1, 2, 3, and 4, to the correct input channels. And bodalgo 1 is mapped to input channel 1 and 2, bodalgo 2 to 3 and 4, bodalgo 3 to 5 and 6, and so on. So we always skip one channel. So audio 1 will be mapped to input 1, which is wonderful. It is the channel of the bodalgo 1 virtual device. Audio number 2, we skip one input, so we go to input number 3. Audio 3 goes to input number 5, and audio 4 goes to input number 7. Let's recap what we have done so far. In step number 1, we've created virtual devices in loopback. You can create as many as you want, but probably 4 or 5 will always do the trick. In step number 2, we used audio MIDI setup to create a new aggregate device made out of those virtual devices that we created in loopback and our own microphone because we want to record ourselves as well. Now these 2 steps never have to be done again. Once they are completed, you're good to go. Then we have set up our recording in Logic. Of course, the setup will vary on the use cases you have. But once that's done, we are good to go for the bodalgoCall. And this is exactly what we're going to do now. Starting a bodalgoCall is really easy. All we need to do, giving it a room name, and then we choose a name for ourselves and join the session. For now, we are the only participant in the room. Let's wait for some others. Here comes Peter, followed by Paul, and finally Mary. Now, let's assign each of those one of our virtual outputs. bodalgoCall 1, bodalgoCall 2, and bodalgoCall 3. And now we swap to where the magic happens. Looking at the level meters, you see that each participant is now being routed to their own individual track and can be recorded separately, which makes your whole production a lot easier. If I wanted to, I could have mapped the microphone that is connected to my computer in a separate channel as well. Let's have a look at the bodalgoCall window one more time and go over the options you have there. First, you can adjust the volume of all the other participants with the fader you see in each channel strip. Below the fader, there are 4 buttons determining the quality you are sending to that participant. You can choose between 32, 64, 160 and 255 kilobits, which is the best quality. Finally, you can mute other participants or, if needed, yourself. Now, how easy was that? I hope you enjoyed this video and will try bodalgoCall for your next podcast or interview or, of course, voiceover recording. I hope I see you next time. Until then, take care and bye-bye.